and you are watching Chef AJ Live. If you are new to me or my broadcast, what started out as just a way to create community and connection during the time of sheltering in place on March 20th became a daily show, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. And so thank you so much for being here. I think this is my 90th show in less than 60 days, but we're going to keep doing this as long as there's interest and people watching. Before I introduce my first guest of the day, I just wanted to let you know that starting tomorrow, which is Monday, May 18th, I will be going down to 1 a day. I have to go back to work. I do have a real job, being an instructor for several educational online companies. And so that starts again tomorrow, but we'll still be going live once a day. The times are going to vary until June 1st, and then we're going to come up with a regular time or semi-regular time. Best way to stay in touch is always through my mailing list. And I will post a link to that. Basically, we send out who's going to be on the show so that you can respond with questions for them, and that we can send the recipes and also the replays. I first want to take an opportunity. I know he doesn't watch, but in case anybody in his family is watching, very happy birthday to my hero and mentor, Dr. John McDougall. Couldn't be here without him. It is on his shoulders that I stood. And so thank you so much for everything you've done, Dr. McDougall. I'd love to have you back if you do see this. He came on once at the very beginning. And then today at 1 o'clock, this will be the last day of double shows. We have a very favorite guest, Dr. Stefan Esser. I told him he can come on every week and we'll just call it Sundays with Stefan. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce my guest, my dear friend. She was really the first success story following the Ultimate Weight Loss Program. This was over 8.5 years ago, and she has lost 120 pounds. That's more than I weigh, and maintained it now for 8 years. And hopefully she's going to share the secret of how she did that. But first, she's going to share her delicious recipes, which at this time, she doesn't even have a working kitchen. She's in a kitchen of her aunt who lives next door, but she doesn't even have a kitchen right now. But the recipes that she's creating, you can do even if you don't have a functional kitchen right now. She has a wonderful Facebook and YouTube page, which I'm going to direct you to. Her name is Shada Soleimani, and she is called Healthy Cooking with Shada. Please welcome Shada. Hi, Shada.
Hi, AJ June. How are you? And thank you so much for having me here today. This is absolutely delightful.
Absolutely. I love your shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. A dear friend of mine gave it to me. And right now is a time that we need to spread the love to everyone with everything that's going on. Seriously, you know.
Well,
how are you doing?
You do that through your food.
I really try, and like you mentioned earlier, yes, I don't have a kitchen right now, so I'm at my neighbor's house right now doing these dishes. And the 2 recipes that I'm going to share with you today, these 2 actually came out because of me having no kitchen. So what I'm telling you is that it's so easy to do. You don't need a kitchen, you don't need anything, you just need healthy foods, and you can throw it together in a matter of 2 minutes. And they're very similar. They kind of have the same similar ingredients in both of them, but they're absolutely delicious. And I'm going to show you different ways that you could do it.
Terrific. I can't wait. You know, for a minute, I thought you were in my house with the backsplash and the white cabinets. I go, she's not here, is she? Because that looks a lot like
that would have been so much fun. How fun is that? When you looked closer, it was fun because me coming over to your house and we could do it. Absolutely. But hopefully, as soon as this pandemic and this shelter in place is over, we can go back to, you know, seeing each other and going to one another's homes. So,
and playing pickleball.
Oh my God, yes, I have missed playing pickleball. Yes, definitely we need to play pickleball. So, oh yeah, I'll be coming over as soon as they let us come out.
All right, so, well, let's see what you got.
All right, so the first recipe is a black bean and corn salad salsa. Is however you want to do it. And all it calls for is 2 cans of black beans that we're going to put in here that you rinse and drain. And you're going to put some roasted corn in here. Now you could do this corn on the cob, or you could do canned corn, or what I did is I went to Trader Joe's and they have the roasted corn, and I did that. So that's what's in here. Then we're going to add a chopped red onion, because it's absolutely delicious with 1 chopped red onion in here. Now, if you don't want to put the onions in here, you don't have to. You could leave it out, because I know there's some people that really don't like onions. So, you know, there's no problem in leaving it out. Now, as far as tomatoes, I like to buy the heirloom tomatoes, you know, the little ones that have all the different colors and stuff, because I just think it makes your salads prettier. You know, it just adds different colors. It's got the yellow, it's got the orange, it's got the red. So that's what I've got in here. And, you know, we eat with our eyes. And if our dishes don't look pretty, Well, who wants to eat it? Nobody wants to eat it. Now, take a look at this salad. It's starting to come together. And look how pretty that is so far. And we really don't have that much in here just yet.
It's
The next thing,
beautiful.
thank you. The next thing we're going to put in here. Now, I've got, my dressings are really simple right now because again, one, it's hard to go to the market and to get things. Two, I like really, ever since I started this way of eating, I'm not into heavy salad dressings anymore. I think I like things that are just really light and fresh. So for me, a simple lime juice with zest does the trick. I don't need any more than that. So I've got lime juice and zest in here that I'm going to pour in. And the other thing I'm going to put in here, you know me, lately I'm really into my jalapeno chili powder. So instead of me going to the market and cutting it up and doing all that, I have the powder form, which if you go to my Amazon page, you can go to my Amazon favorites. I've got a link in there for this. And depending on how much spice you want, you could put as much or as little, but I'm going to probably put about a 1/4 teaspoon in here, just enough to give it a little bit of a kick. And then we're going to toss all this. And this dish is actually tastier, I think, after being in the refrigerator for like 3 or 4 hours or even overnight, because the flavors tend to settle and they rest and the flavors just really come out. So that's it for this recipe, but I'm going to be going somewhere today. So I am going to add.
Wait, what do you mean you're going somewhere? You're not allowed to go anywhere.
I was just saying, if you're going to pay attention, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going home. See, I am going somewhere. I'm going from this house to my house. Yeah. Now, what I am going to add a little bit of is avocado. Avocado is really a special treat for any of us. I may have it once or twice a year. But if you're making this for company, why not add a little bit of avocado if they like in here? You know, now, AJ, do you do any avocado?
I have not had any avocado or nuts for like 8.5 years. No, I can't. It's trigger for me. The minute I taste even the tiniest bit of fat, that's all I want to do is eat more fat.
Oh no, well, it doesn't trigger me. Now the nuts do, absolutely, and I'm on the same page as you, but the avocado, not so much. I haven't had nuts since, I would say, since January of this year now, like 0 Zippo. Back in the day, I may have had a little bit here and there, but right now, I haven't touched it. And I tell you what, I feel actually a lot better. So and then we're gonna also add some cilantro to this, a little bit of greens. And then we're gonna toss this again. Now, anybody can do this with or without a kitchen, don't you think?
I think so. You could even do it in a hotel room.
You could easily do this in a hotel room. And you and I both have traveled together, and you know how much we could cook in a hotel room.
Have Instant Pot, will travel. What is your process for coming up for recipes? And Brenda says, where can we find your recipes?
My recipes, a lot of them you can find them on YouTube. And my process is honestly is just foods that I like and that I'm going to eat that are easy and colorful. I just like colorful food. Now my Persian food, on the other hand, those are all they're my Persian recipes that I've converted to making them vegan, salt, oil, and sugar-free. And those, if you go on my healthy cooking page with Shada, Gustavo Tolosa is online right now, and he has posted on there all of our webinars that we have done. Or even for these recipes here, you can email me at cookingwithshada@gmail.com, and I'd be more than happy to send you the recipes for all of this.
I'm posting that right now. Thank you, Shada. cookingwithshada@gmail.com.
So for these, what I went ahead and did yesterday is I made little tortilla chips. And these are just corn tortillas that I baked in the oven. Actually, not in the oven. I baked it in my Breville Smart Oven Air because that you could do everything in there with. So this is really good that you could, take a chip and eat it like that, like a salsa, or you can just plate it and just pour a little bit of this on top of it. and it just makes a nice little dip. This also is good on if you make some steamed brown rice. You could put this salad on top of steamed brown rice. You could put this on just about anything. You could put this on potatoes even, and it's absolutely delicious. And here's a little, I don't know if you can you see that? The
That
little
is
plate.
beautiful.
Yeah, so it's just, simple, healthy, delicious. Like I've always told you, there's no reason right now, some of my friends are calling and they're saying they're having a hard time staying on track. And I'm thinking this is actually the easiest time for anyone who wants to adopt a healthy SOS-free plant-based lifestyle. This is the easiest time to do it because we eat so simple. I'm always amazed how people are chasing recipes. And you've heard me say this, stop chasing recipes.
Every time you say that, I think of that song and I go, don't go chasing recipes. It's so true because, that's one of the things that I've seen in the people that are most successful is they just eat food. They don't worry about weighing and measuring in recipes. They have beans and rice and corn and potatoes and sweet potatoes and squashes, and they just make, sustainable, simple, starchy meals from a variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. And they don't. Yeah, I don't know why it's so difficult for people, unless it's because of one of the personality traits that Dr. Lyle talks about and that they're incredibly variety seeking. But even then, there's 18,000 different types of legumes that they can be working with.
Oh, absolutely. And even like I see people getting hung up on measurements for cooking. Now, baking is a different story. I understand for baking, we need to have precise measurements. But for cooking, okay, so I may put in 2 cups of black beans. You may want to put in 1 cup of black beans and put more corn in there, or you might want to put less onions and put more tomatoes. Again, there's no wrong way of cooking this or making any of this. You could do it any way you want. Just start experimenting. It's fun to get in the kitchen. You take a can of black beans. You don't have black beans, put kidney beans. You don't have kidney beans, put garbanzo beans. There's, like you said, there's so much variety out there with the types of beans and legumes and I don't know, vegetables and rice. And it's the possibilities, honestly, I think are endless, are absolutely endless. So.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. Does your mom like that salad?
She loves this salad. The only thing is once in a while, I will make the corn chips for her. But for the most part, we actually have it in lettuce cups. So I'll take a lettuce cup and I'll pour this in there and I eat it with a lettuce cup. Or I'll make some steamed brown rice and I put this on top of the steamed brown rice. It's just different ways of creating something for yourself. You can make little burritos out of it with the lettuce brown.
Day of work, daily harvest flatbread.
And you could also put this in collard greens. So I'm going to show a little bit later how I make collard wraps out of most of this food. Because I think collard greens is another way of really, it's a healthy way of getting some more greens in for you. So.
That sounds delicious. And I've had your food, so I know how good it is. I'm going to post a link to Shada's YouTube page in case you guys want to check out her videos and maybe even subscribe to me if you haven't. And so do you have a name for this recipe?
I call it the spicy black bean and corn salad. I don't know, healthy food. So I'm going to set up a little bit for the next recipe. Now this next recipe came because of Mother's Day, and I woke up and I felt bad that I can't really prepare something fancy for Mom. And so I thought, okay, what do I have in the house? So I literally took what I had in the refrigerator and in the pantry, and that's how this recipe came about. And it is so tasty and colorful and delicious. And a few people are always telling me, how come your food is so colorful? We love it. Even if it's just vegetables, you make it colorful. And I just like color, even though I'm wearing black, but So let me just get everything over here. So for this next recipe, I call this the Forbidden Rainbow Salad. And the reason it's called the Forbidden Rainbow Salad is because I'm using forbidden black rice.
I love that rice.
I love this rice. It's so good. And this is the bag that I bought. I don't know if you can, if people, because I know people always want to see what kind of bag, you know, what kind of rice you use. Yes, this rice is really good. And I got to tell you, I like it because you can make this a little bit stickier. And I make sushi out of this. And it sticks really nice to the nori. And then what it does is whatever vegetable you add to this, it makes it so colorful and beautiful. So your sushi or your collard greens, your wraps, everything comes out really, really pretty. So what goes in here? So now I know somebody's going to ask, how did I cook the forbidden rice? So it's 2 cups of forbidden rice to 2.5 cups of water in my Instant Pot for 22 minutes. Now you're going to let the pressure come down naturally for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, go ahead and release the pressure and get your rice out. And that's how it comes out. It's super simple, super easy, but you could also make it on the stovetop. But why make it on the stovetop when you can put it in the Instant Pot and have it done?
I just cook everything in a rice cooker because then I don't have to measure. I don't have to memorize how much water to how much grain. It's just, I have a $29 rice cooker and it's perfect rice every time.
Is that the aroma from Costco?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
It's just because I love the Instant Pot. Don't get me wrong. I recommend everybody get one. And I use it every single day, multiple times a day. But for rice, you have to remember the ratio. But with a rice cooker, there's little lines and you just fill the cup 1 to 10, and then you fill the line. You don't have to memorize it. And it works for millet and it works for rice and it works for every grain. So to me, it's just easier. Yeah, otherwise, I'd have to call you. I'd have to call you or Sharon McRae and ask how to do it.
Well, hey, listen, I call Sharon McRae a lot for some of this stuff too. So she's a godsend.
And we should just post her phone number here and have everybody start calling her, but hopefully she'll come on and do a cooking demo too.
Oh, that would be really nice. She's so sweet. So what goes into this forbidden rice is garbanzo beans. Now, usually I make my own garbanzo beans, but right now I don't have the time. So there's a can of garbanzo beans. Mangoes are in season right now and they're absolutely delicious. And the mangoes that I really like are the champagne mangoes and they're so good. So we're going to put mango in here. Again, that's what we had in the kitchen. Again, we have tomatoes, the colorful rainbow tomatoes. That's going to go in here. Start mixing some of this. We have onion, 1 red onion, and I know you and I both love red onion. Just makes every salad taste better. And when you're making your salads, just see what kind of colors you can add in there to make it even more colorful and more pleasing to your eye, you know? So we're gonna mix all this really well. Now, like I said, the forbidden rice is a little stickier. So just, you're gonna have to work with it a little bit, but it'll flake off. I mean, it'll start to separate a little bit more. And then we're gonna add cilantro to this. And for those of you that you don't like cilantro, because I know there's some people that they say that the cilantro tastes like soap, right? So you can add fresh mint. Fresh mint would be delicious in here. I just didn't happen to have mint at the time. I had cilantro. Or you could even put basil. You could put parsley in here. Dill might even be good in here. I know a lot, like in the Middle East, we eat a lot of dill. So dill is absolutely delicious. So don't be afraid to get in and to experiment. And so far, this is what it looks like.
Gorgeous.
So now we're going to add some cilantro to this. Some chopped cilantro. And I like a lot of cilantro, and I don't know if you do too, but whoops. And then again, don't laugh, but the dressing for this is again lime juice and lime zest. Now you could do this also with white balsamic vinegar. And I know California Balsamics has a really nice white balsamic vinegar, and they also have a peach. They have a peach balsamic that would actually be pretty tasty in here. And I know you mentioned the other day pineapple, that you really like their pineapple balsamic, right?
I love the new pineapple balsamic.
Yeah, I haven't tried that one yet. But so here we have, let me mix this just a little bit. This is just lemon juice and the zest that we've got in here. And you could pour as much or as little as you want. There's, again, no right or wrong. And we're gonna mix this. Now, if you want, you could add the jalapenos to this as well. I sometimes add it and sometimes I don't. It just depends. But I'm gonna add it. Why am I gonna add it? Because I like the spice with the mango. Between the mango, the lime, and the spicy, it gives it a nice combination, and it just tastes really good. So I'm probably gonna put. Now, do you like spicy? I don't remember if you said you did or
I
didn't.
am somewhere between you and Charles. Charles likes no spice whatsoever. You like it really spicy. It's like the three bears. I'm right in the middle of you guys.
Oh, that's funny.
But
I can't handle it if it's too spicy, but I like a little kick.
I agree with you. And you know what I've been doing lately is I have that really wonderful mandolin from Tupperware that slices things literally paper thin that you use on poke bowls. And when you go to poke restaurants, they always have jalapenos. And I find with jalapenos, if they're sliced paper thin, they're really not that spicy. And so even Charles, we've been putting it on our soups and our salads and really liking to use that. And we have the jalapeno powder as well.
Yeah, it just adds a little really nice flavor. Well, again, like right now, I didn't have time to go buy the jalapeno, but this is exactly what we had at the house on Mother's Day. And so this is what we ate. Let me show you. And that's basically the final salad. And how easy is that? And it's a very colorful salad. You could take this to picnics. You could take this for potlucks, you know, and it makes quite a bit. So don't be afraid to.
You can use it for the 3 Ps, parties, picnics, and potlucks.
There you go. There you go. Now I'm going to show you what I do with this, with the wraps. This, once it sits in the refrigerator, like the next day, it'll thicken up, it'll get a little bit stickier, which makes it perfect for either wrapping it in your sushi rolls or in your collard greens. So I've got, I made some yesterday, so I have it. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do it with the collard greens. Now you could put avocado in this one too, but I'm going to put avocado in the wrap. So we have a little bit of avocado in it. I'm not going to put it in the salad. For those people that can eat avocado.
Will you also tell us how you steam your collard leaves? Because, you know, I know some people do it in the microwave. Some people use a rolling pin and then do it on a steamer.
So I know Mauricio does the rolling pin. He just boom, 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 and gets it done. I tried it. For me, it just didn't work. So what I do is I try to find like large collards, right? And what I do is I take it and I fill a pot of water. I fill a pot with water and I put my steamer basket in there. And I just put this in there for literally like 2 minutes. And then I have an ice bath going and I take it and I put it in the ice bath and then I dry it. And then you take out, there's a center core right in here. And you want to take like a paring knife, take your paring knife and just cut it out really gently without ripping this. This becomes really fragile. So, and if it has little holes, like this one has a few little holes in it, but it's okay. We could still work with it. I'm gonna move this out of the way. AJ, can you see the wrap?
I sure can.
You can see it. If I do it on the table right here, you can see it. Okay, so we're gonna take some of this mixture and you're gonna put it in the center. And you don't want to overfill this, okay?
Okay, 2 questions. Well, first of all, Tammy loves your hair. Janet says, what can you use instead of mango because she has an allergy?
You could use pineapple, you could use peaches. again, don't get caught up on that. It has to be mango, but like I said, you could use peach, you could use pineapple, you could use apples, you could use grapes, you could literally use whatever you like. Just find something that's bright and colorful. That's why I'm thinking maybe the pineapple. And Tammy, thank you. So you've got this in the middle. You're going to roll it from this side, from one end. You're going to make it like a burrito, literally. Turn it over. Bring it back again. Basically the same way you kind of do yours, and gently just fold it over. And that's it. You've had this a version of this, AJ.
I love it so much. We took it when we went to the pageant of the Masters.
Exactly, that's where we took it. And I got to tell you, these wraps, they travel really, really well, because when I made them for AJ and I made them that morning, but we really didn't get to it till like that afternoon, and it was still pretty fresh, and it was really nice. And then I'm going to take my serrated knife, kind of cut it in this style. Now look at that.
OMG. Hold it up again and talk.
Well, there it is. It's absolutely delicious. And I tell you something, because you've got fresh fruit in here, you don't need any kind of sauce or dip or anything. This is it. I'll make a few more so you guys can see. Let's see.
Yeah, show again, because I have such a hard time rolling it. It always seems to break.
So there's two sides to this, right? This is the side that the vein was cut. And that's the side, look how easily this folds over when you go on that side. Actually, it would work on this side as well. It just looks prettier on this side because this side shows the cut of the vein here. You don't want that to show. When you go on the other side, it's just pretty and nice and clean. But you got to make sure you steam it. I know there's a lot of raw foodist people out there that don't steam their collard greens. And every time I've tried to do it without steaming it, it's really hard to have it fold over, and it's really hard to get it to go. It wasn't pliable for me. So for me, I like to steam it, and literally the steaming takes 1 or 2 minutes, because as soon as this turns into a beautiful green, then you're ready to go. So and if you get pieces that are not this big, like I got lucky that these turned out so nice and big, take 2 small ones and overlay them and then wrap them up. Even because that way you can also cover holes that might be in there, and it's pretty easy. So we're gonna do this again. AJ, you should be here right now so you can have one.
I know. So you basically just do it in the middle. You put, and how do you know how much filling to put in? Because I think I sometimes overstuff when I try to do that.
If you overstuff it, then it's going to spill, and you're not going to be able to roll it. And that's the problem a lot of people have when they're making sushi. You cannot overstuff these. You don't want to understuff it, but you don't want to overstuff it. So maybe, like, I don't know, it's just an eyeball, a guessing game. After a while, you kind of get the hang of it. So we're going to roll it over again. Make sure you don't break it.
So you go like left, right, and then
I just went right, left, and then from the back I'm going to roll over, and then I'm going to tuck under again, and then I'm going to tuck it under again, and then I just hold it with my hands a little bit, and that's it. So you could eat this just like this.
oh my God, that's how I eat it. That looks so good. I want one, and I'm hungry now too. I want one so bad. Janet says, can you steam many collard leaves at the same time?
Yes, you can. You don't want to do it one at a time, because if you do it one at a time, you're going to be in the kitchen all day long. So yes, I do probably about 3 at a time. That's how much it fits easily. And depending on the size of your collard greens, then I would do 2 or 3 at a time. So here's the inside of that one. And then let me show you how you could do it with the salsa, because you could also do it with that as well. So we're going to take, I had a hands-on cooking class probably about a year ago of us making sushi and different wraps. And it was a lot of fun. It was people really enjoyed it. So you could do it with this as well, with the black bean and corn. This one has a little hole in it in the middle, but that's okay. I absolutely love wraps because, again, they're so easy to travel. And with this one, with the black bean and corn, what I would do is I would take some brown rice and add some brown rice to this, mix it in here, and then do your wrap, because I think it would be really tasty with your wrap. But if you don't want to do any kind of grain, then you don't have to. And you could do it with quinoa, brown rice, wild rice. I think when I made it for you, we made it with wild rice. Did we? Or I don't remember. It was so.
It was delicious.
Yeah. It's fun. It's a fun meal.
Yeah, when I've done it, I've just zapped it in the microwave each leaf for 10 seconds and it softens them right up.
Oh, okay. I have not tried it in the microwave. So there's the other one.
As somebody says, I know what you and mom are eating all week.
You better believe it. Absolutely. So, hey, listen, even my mom, I got to tell you, my mom is completely okay about simple eating. Our meals, AJ knows, our meals are super, super simple. And if you follow me on Instagram, I try to post like one meal a day just to show you how simple I eat. The only times that I will eat a little bit more, I don't want to say fancy or I don't know, is when we have company over. But 9 out of 10, when we have company over, I'm always making Persian food. And Persian food is a little bit more elaborate and it's a little bit more time consuming. But otherwise, it's really simple. And the only way I've managed to keep my weight off is by eating as simple as possible. A potato, a rice, a bean, a salad, steamed grains. That's it. Just mix those combinations. You don't need anything more than that. You really, I mean, I don't think you do.
Well, I agree with you. Lori says, I'm so happy to finally see your friend Shada. I've heard you speak highly of her for years, and now I can see why she's fantastic. Shada, I actually put you in my stand-up comedy act. I mean, not really you, but I mean, okay, so like when we do comedy.
Okay, fess up.
Well, it's anyway, I'll post the link, guys, if you want to come to my comedy show. Both Charles and I are performing stand-up comedy at Flappers Comedy Club. We're actually doing it online because obviously we're sheltering. So you have to buy a ticket. It's $7, which is actually really cheap because when you go to the comedy club, it's always been more and a 2-drink minimum. If I could give it away for free, I would. But anyway, so in comedy, there's this part of the setup, the punch when you do, it's called an act out, where you become the character. So I had to pick a name, and so I picked the name Shada. And so even though I'm not exactly talking about you, your name will come up in the act. And I could only pick one friend, and I picked you. So
oh, you're so sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you, honey.
Hopefully you'll like the joke that it's about. It doesn't make fun of you. It actually makes fun of me. But anyway, I hope you guys will come to the show. I'll keep posting the link. So yeah, I agree with you. Simple. It's so much cheaper to eat simply. It's easier, it's less time consuming, and it sure is better for people that are trying to lose weight and maintain the weight loss, because like they say, variety is the kiss of death for the food addict.
Oh, absolutely. And I could not agree with you more. In this time when people are gaining weight, here we are either maintaining and losing weight. And again, when you go back to it, if you see the way that we all eat, it's because we eat so simple. And it's just simple foods, and that's it. There's so much variety, and there's nothing wrong with sometimes just having which I do this a lot, and I know you do, is having a potato and broccoli, having potato and steamed greens, having a potato with steamed carrots. It's that simple. But I think people want to make it like they don't get it that it's really that easy. They think there's more to it when in fact, there's nothing more to it. That's all it is.
I know. I think they're still a little bit stuck in the pleasure trap, and they can't imagine that this kind of way of eating could be delicious and sustainable. So Chrissy said, well, what's a serving? And I said, well, we don't know, because I don't know how hungry you are.
I don't know. I could eat like 2 of these wraps,
yeah,
and still have my salad. So I couldn't tell you. You eat till you're comfortably full. Now you don't want to. At least I don't. I don't want to eat until I'm busting out of my pants. But you just eat till you're comfortably full. And what I love about this way of eating, back in the day when you ate regular, like back in the back days, whenever you ate, you felt so full and sick after you ate, right? But now when you eat, you feel full, but you're satisfied and you're happy, and you don't have, your stomach is not weighed down, and you don't have that bloat, and it's just, you just feel good. That's the bottom line. You feel good, These are all healthy, nutritious foods that with simple ingredients. There's nothing that you cannot get anywhere with these ingredients. Like I said, even the jalapeno pepper, you don't want to put that in. Keep it out. Put fresh jalapenos in there. Make it as hot as you want with those ghost peppers, I guess. But, I sure would try one of those.
And Louise says, eating simply frees the brain. Absolutely. That's part of the best part. Yep.
That's the best part. Our brain is happy. We're not seeking anything else. Fruit has become our dessert. Have a champion or a Yonana or a Vitamix or any of that stuff, and you can make delicious ice cream,
Yeah, sometimes I find fruit is just too sweet and I'd rather eat vegetables.
Yeah, sometimes, like right now, dates are too sweet, bananas. Bananas for me, if they have any speck of black or if they're starting to go, I'm like, I can't eat it. Mine still have to have a little bit of green on it, because otherwise it's just way, way too sweet for me. I can't do it. Just cannot do it.
I find even the Japanese sweet potatoes and the Hawaiian are too sweet for me now. That's why I like the Hana better, because they're a little bit less sweet. So we have a question from Cheryl. How did Shayda lose 120 pounds? Just by going plant-based?
Well, I met this woman right here, Chef AJ, and I met John Pierre. The two of them were like in a dynamic force duo. Yes, I actually lost all my weight by going plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free, flour-free, sofa-free, as you call it. And I even had, part of my story is that I had a doctor that years ago told me that it would take Herculean efforts for me to ever lose weight, let alone to try to even maintain it. I wish I knew where he was so I could show him and say, hey, look at me now. What do you think?
Could you find him? Do you think you could find him?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I could try, but it would be kind of funny. Send him a link to my video and say, hey, what do you think now?
I'll tell him you met Hercules.
Yeah, exactly. I met Hercules and I got it done. But, I made that decision in 2012, like AJ said, January of 2012.
I remember it was January 12th, 2012. It was a Sunday, and I remember that.
Yeah, and I've never, ever, ever, ever looked back. And the thing with me, when I made the decision and the commitment to go to a plant-based diet, I put in not 100%, but I put in 200%. And I literally had blinders on, and I did not look at anything else. I focused completely 120% on this way of eating and not cheating at all. And when I say cheating, it's not cheating to have an avocado, but it's not really cheating to have some nuts, but I chose not to do it. I chose to do the program the way AJ and Jean Pierre told me to do it, and no other deviation from it. I did the program as they told me, and look, guys, it worked. It truly, truly worked. I put all my soul and my hard work and all my effort into doing this because I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I wanted to get off of all my medications. My goal was to get me healthy and to get my mom healthy and whoever else I can to get them healthy. And I think I've done a pretty good job so far.
Well, you've done great. And I love when your mom comes on these. Maybe next time you come on, mom will be there and your kitchen will be not in a state of whatever it is now that you can't be in there, because she lost weight by proxy. I mean, she wasn't even in the program. She just, like so many of the women in my program, their spouses end up losing 30, 40 pounds just because that's how they're cooking now. And your mom was, collateral, the opposite of damage, collateral success.
Absolutely. And what's really cool about my mom, she went to go have cataract surgery. I think it was last year. And it was really funny because the doctor, I was sitting in there with her and the doctor was going around to all the beds and asking all their patients, like, what kind of medications? Okay, what's your diabetes? What's your cholesterol? What's your, high blood pressure, X, Y, and Z? And they come to my mom And they're like, okay, diabetes meds, no. Cholesterol, no. Triglycerides, no. High blood pressure, no. And then all of a sudden the doctor looks up and goes, you're not taking any medications? My mom goes, no. He's like, he was dumbfounded because my mom is 76 and on 0 medications. And he looked at me, he looked at her, and he said, is she telling the truth that she's not taking any medications? I said, yeah. He goes, how can that be? I'm like, seriously? And I said, because we eat a whole food plant-based diet. And he goes, oh. And then he turned around and left. I'm like, hello, you should start a conversation here. You should want to know what is it that we're doing that she's not on any medications when all your other patients are on medications. So it's really interesting. And it was by proxy, like you said, that she is, thank God, healthy and she's thriving. And she absolutely loves this way of eating. And what I love about it, AJ, is if you come into our house at any time, she's either listening to you, to McDougall, to Doug, to Furman. I mean, she's like constantly learning and listening to everybody. So she, and then she's telling her friends about it and trying to convince them to eat like us, which is really kind of cool. So now she's become, she holds the flag.
What's nice about your mom, or that's nice about the story, she was like a little stubborn little child at first and didn't want to eat her vegetables.
No, and now she's like, she gets up in the morning and guess what she has first thing in the morning? Her vegetables, which is really cool. You guys, you can't get around this. I mean, some things you just can't. And if you're going to start your day with sweets, then you're going to want sweets all day long. But if you start your day with savory, you start your day with vegetables, guess what? Your body is not going to be craving and looking for that sugar hit. So it's better that you just bite the bullet and have your greens in the morning and just suck it up and do it, right?
I agree. Well, that's what I've been saying for years, but people keep telling me how difficult and how restrictive it is and how you can't eat vegetables for breakfast. And people think that's all we eat. Oh my God, it's mostly starch, but you just, like you say, you got those thylakoids in first thing in the morning and you want to start your day in a savory way. Save the fruit later for your yonanas. But I'm telling you, like the people that start savory, man, they don't struggle.
No, they don't. There's something happens to our brain that we're like, oh my God, I don't want anything sweet. This is absolutely perfect. And you feel satisfied. And your internal audience, like Doug says, is cheering you on because you started in a healthy, positive way. But I got to say one thing for those that are struggling and for those that are thinking about doing this, I personally don't recommend that you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Meaning, if you're going to start eating this way, go in 100%. Just go all in. Don't be going in, but on the side, dabbling a little bit of the higher caloric density foods. Don't, because it'll stall your progress. But if you go in 100% with blinders and all you're going to focus on is eating healthy, simple foods left of the red line, then you're going to see the results. But if you're going to keep dabbling back and forth, like teeter-tottering, you're going to struggle. You're going to always, you're going to have problems. And I personally don't recommend that. When I did it, you remember, I went in 100% as much as I could. I never looked back.
Dina Marie wants to know if your mother was also on medication before adopting this way of eating.
Yes, mom was on cholesterol, triglycerides, high blood pressure, and metformin, I believe, maybe twice a day of metformin for pre-diabetes and all that. So yes, she was, and so was I. The only thing I wasn't on was the high blood pressure, but I was on everything else like she was. And knock on wood, we've been free of all that medication for a good seven and a half years now. When Dr. McDougall took me off of everything, and we've been thriving ever since. But you gotta follow this way of eating. And honestly, I look at the other foods and I don't want to go back. Because all my favorite meals, I can replicate to an SOS-free lifestyle. All my Persian food, which I love my Persian food, and I was not about to give up any of my Persian food. I have converted all of that into this way of eating. The one thing that I have converted that nobody else has been able to right now is called the tahdig, which you've had it at my house. And it's the crunchy part of the rice. And when the way, as Persians, the way we make that, you know, in the pot, we've got about a 1/4 inch of oil, or an 1/8 inch of oil on the bottom of the pot, and the rice goes on top of that. And it's just, you know, it becomes really crunchy after 2.5, 3 hours of the rice cooking. And it's the best part of the rice, but it is full of fat because all the oil, everything is sitting in the bottom of that tahdig. It's really greasy, but again, it's delicious. And, you know, my aunt and I, we did it so that now we can make that tahdig the same way, 0 oil, and still get the crunch and still have the same flavor and the taste without any of the grease. And it makes me laugh because Persians come to our house and they cannot believe that there's not a drop of oil in them. And I remember one time one of my friends came over with her mom and she said, please don't serve the tahdig. I want to come in the kitchen and watch you take it out of the pot. And I said, fine. So she came in the kitchen and I took it out and her eyes just grew really large and she goes, oh my God. So I broke it in half and then I gave her some and I gave it to her on a napkin. Why? Because back in the day when you had tahdig on the napkin, when you took the tahdig off of it, there was oil all on the bottom of the napkin. So she goes, wait, there's no oil here. I said, I told you there is no oil. She tasted and she goes, you really meant what you said. There's no, I'm like, there is no oil. She took her finger, there was nothing in the pot, just to test the bottom of the pot to make sure that I didn't even have like a spray, you know, like Pam and all that. And I'm like, no, there is no oil. And Persians don't know how to make this. So I've got that as a webinar. It's a paid webinar. I have a lot of my Persian recipes as a paid webinar, which again, if you go to Healthy Cooking with Shada, or you can email me and I'll be happy to send you the link so you could sign up for it. But it's absolutely delicious. You didn't want to learn it. I was going to teach you how to make it, and you said it was too much work.
Well, you said it takes a long time, and I mean, if you can't make it in 5 minutes, or put it in the Instant Pot or put it in the air fryer, you know.
No. Let me tell you, Persian food is not about the Instant Pot. Persian food is really a treat. Persian food, it's not hard to assemble it. The assembly of it comes together pretty quick. But yes, it's sitting on the stove, minding its own business and cooking for about 2 to 2.5 hours and doing what it needs to do. So yes, it does take a little while, but you know, it becomes so flavorful. And I am so grateful that I've had the opportunity to learn and to be able to convert a lot of the Persian recipes for me and my family and my friends that love Persian food. So kind of
nice.
cool.
Elsil says, has anybody commented that Shada looks like she could be a newscaster? She is just stunning and is so poised. Love her. So do you want people to, where do you want people to go? Do you want them to go to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram? Because I know you have a professional page and a personal page. So where should I direct people?
People can go to whatever's easier for them. They can go to my Facebook. They can go to.
But you have 2 Facebooks. So do you want them to go to Healthy Cooking with Shada?
No,
or
go to Healthy Cooking with Shada. And they can always, like I said, email me at cookingwithshada@gmail.com. And those 2 places would be great.
And then if they emailed you at cookingwithshada@gmail.com, they could be on your newsletter list, right?
Absolutely. They could be on my newsletter. And then I will also, when they email me, I will send them today's recipe. I will email it to them directly. Absolutely.
That is great. Violet says, can you have her come back and do a video with how to make tahdig? I don't think so, because she does do some paid webinars just like I do. And so that I don't think she would do that, but she's already done a video with that. So,
well, and the other thing is, I don't feel comfortable because people have paid for that webinar for the tahdig, and it's not fair to the people that have paid for it that I all of a sudden, you know, do it for free. So that tahdig will be a paid webinar. Yes.
Good for you, Shada. Okay. Nancy says, how old is Shada's mom?
She is 76.
Wow. You guys must be saving so much money now that you're both off so many medications.
Oh yeah. You're kidding. I can go buy cute clothes and shoes, and absolutely. Why should we pay and support the pharmaceutical? I don't want to do any of that. No way.
Absolutely. We'd rather support Sephora. No, I'm just kidding.
that is actually pretty funny.
We hardly go there. And first of all, it's been closed for months. And since I moved here, you can tell I don't even wear makeup anymore, at least just a little, you know, whatever. So somebody's asking, how long do these salads and wraps last in the refrigerator?
So the salads and the wraps will probably last, the wraps, I would say about 2 or 3 days. The salads, probably about 4 or 5 days. You don't want to keep them in too long. Yeah,
Great.
but they're
So
tasty.
maybe we'll come back next time with your mom because people love her. You guys are hilarious together. You're like kind of like Thelma and Louise. It's just fun to watch you guys. And Elmo says, does she have a whole food plant-based Sofas free Persian cookbook?
Not yet, but I'm working on it. So I am working on that because I've had a lot of requests for the Persian cookbook, and I am working on it currently.
Okay. If you guys have any more questions in the last few minutes for Shada, please type them in the chat box. In the meantime, I'm going to ask her a few fun questions that we ask all of our guests. And I did want to say to you, if you come back at 1 p.m., Dr. Stefan Esser is going to be doing this little calorie density experiment that you might not want to miss. So Shada, everybody asks every guest what, I mean, I know how to answer this for you, what they eat in a day, what they do for exercise, and what you're currently either reading and or watching on Netflix. I don't think you have Netflix, though.
I don't have Netflix. We really don't watch that much TV anymore. So because the gym is closed right now, I am going on about a 5 to 7 mile walk a day, whether that's hills or flats or but I'm walking around the neighborhood, which I have found that I'm really, really enjoying. So I've started picking up a lot of walking, and throughout the day, I sneak a lot of movement in because JP has got that in my brain that we constantly need to get movement in. If I'm in the kitchen, I do push-ups against the counter. I have free weights at home that I'm constantly using my free weights. I have bands that I'm constantly using. So throughout the day, I'm exercising. I'm not exercising just an hour in the morning. I'm literally moving throughout the day. What do I eat in a day? I'm basically eating probably about 2 meals a day. It's just the way my schedule works. By the time I come back from my walk, or sometimes I'm just not hungry till about 10:30, 11. So right around 10:30, 11, I'll have my steamed greens, whether it's broccoli, cauliflower, or I sometimes have a big raw salad. And in that raw salad, I might throw in some rice. I may have a potato. I may throw in some beans. If you go on my Instagram page, you'll see some of my meals that, of what I'm eating. And then for dinner, it's basically the same thing, salad, steamed vegetables, and a starch. So it's literally, salad, steamed vegetables, and starch. And guess where I learned that from? True North. That's what they put in your brain, salad, steamed vegetables, starch. And it seems to really, for me, it really works. And again, super, super simple. And I'm reading a book by Dennis Prager right now about what's the name of it? About being happy. It's contagious to be happy, or something like that. And it's actually a really, really great book right now. And I like on Monday nights, I like The Voice on TV, just because I think it's a fun competition. But my favorite show right now is The Masked Singer. I don't know if you've watched that, AJ.
My sister likes that. I have not watched it.
It is so much fun to try and guess to see who's underneath that mask. And that's got to be my favorite show right now. So,
we only watch one show on regular TV called Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. If you tried it, the season finale was the most extraordinary episode.
I saw it and it made me cry. That season finale was it was tough.
But it's such a good show, isn't it? There's never been a show like it. Yeah, because I had this thing, I was not going to ever watch TV. I went a year, and then my sister said, you got to watch this show. And of course, it was so unique and so special. I got hooked.
But watch The Masked Singer if you get a chance. It really is a unique show, and it's really a nice show. Yeah. It's fun.
So Mary Caldwell is thanking you for coming on. She says she's been dipping into the danger zone and really needed to see this. And I keep typing, which danger zone does she mean? But she hasn't asked that. And
it's okay to just tell Mary not to be hard on herself, and just with the next meal. That's the thing. People just because they might dabble in something, they start beating themselves over the head. And then they dive in even more and more and more. Okay, so you had something you shouldn't have. Let it go. Your next bite should be something healthy. Don't beat yourself up. At least that's
Greens.
my attitude.
Yeah, that's what I say. Next meal, greens. Ann says, do you eat between meals? I think we eat exactly the same. And when I was fat, I still ate 2 meals a day and I didn't eat between meals. It's like nothing has changed except for
Yeah.
what I eat.
Yeah, I agree with you. And if I do have something in between meals, it's typically, I love raw carrots, like especially the rainbow carrots. So I may have some carrots and I may have a fruit, and that's it. That's my, if I really want something. And so 9 out of 10, I'm eating because I'm bored. It's not because I'm even hungry. And I realize that,
A wise man once said, if you're not hungry enough to eat vegetables, you're probably not hungry.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So Anne says, does Shada eat fruit? Sure, she does. She loves to put it in her salad. She put fruit in her wraps. And Lori says, what health issues did you have that you are now off all your medications?
So I was pre-diabetic and I had high cholesterol, I had high triglycerides, and those were the 3 things. And they had said that I was insulin resistant. And what else? I think that's more than enough, but no, I'm off all of that, and I couldn't be happier. I haven't even gone to the doctors and I don't know how long, knock on wood, thank God. And just feel really good and energetic. And
I should have asked, because we were focusing on the cooking today. You don't happen to have your before picture, do you? Which you were.
No, it's at the house. But
all right, next time, because you lost the whole person. You lost more weight than I weighed. You literally halved yourself.
Yes, and I feel really good.
You should feel really proud. Dina Marie says, do you ever eat tofu?
Once in a while, and I'll tell you how that happened, because when I was growing up, my grandmother used to make in Farsi it's called tokhme morgh goje, which was eggs and tomatoes basically. So it was a breakfast that grandma used to make, and even my grandfather made it. My mom used to make it. So about a month ago, I had out of the left field, I all of a sudden had a craving for it. I haven't had a craving for eggs in over 8 years. So I thought, well, I could replicate that recipe with tofu. And so I made it, and I called my aunt over, and she came over and she goes, oh my God, you made tofu goje. And I said, she goes, wait, you made eggs? I said, Giti, there's no eggs in here. It's tofu. So it was pretty funny. So we've had it a couple of times, and it was actually tasty, but I'm not a huge tofu fan. But once, that was the first time in maybe over 2 or 3 years that we had it. So no, not often.
Jill says she loves your hair, and where do you buy champagne mangoes?
Champagne, thank you so much. And for the champagne mangoes, I bought these at Sprouts. Actually, all the markets have them.
Really?
The champagne mangoes are the smaller ones, and they're really easy to peel, and they're really easy to cut. They're not like the red mango. Like the red mango, I just did a YouTube on my zoodle, spicy mango zoodle salad, where I use the red mangoes and I make a salad dressing out of that. But I find that the champagne mango is better for the salads and when you're tossing it into things.
Yeah, and if you're ever go to the Fasting Escape as a patient, Shada is the culinary instructor there. And I want to read a very nice comment from Elspeth. AJ, you must be so proud of all the lives you've changed. Well done, Shada, for being so diligent.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of Shada, but she knows that if she strays at all, I'll come over and kill her. So
exactly.
Jane says Shada is beautiful and fit. Sharon says your shirt says it all. Anne wants to know, Shada, do you ever crave sugar?
I know after a hard workout, I'm craving to come home and have a piece of fruit. I don't crave desserts as far as, is she asking like sweets or because to me, when I crave sugar, I want fruit. That's what I crave.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, gosh, this has been great. So we'll do this again when your kitchen is back to normal, and we'll have Mom or two. She can be your sous chef. Wouldn't that be fun?
She is my sous. Oh my God, she's been helping me for all this, to chop and to wash and no, she's wonderful. Yeah, it would be fun. It would be a lot of fun to have Mom and me, and with all your guests. So thank you.
Yeah, well, you got a huge fan club. So everybody, thanks so much for watching. Please send Shada an email at healthycookingwithshada@gmail.com. That will get you the recipes. That will get you.
No. The email will be cookingwithshada@gmail.com.
Oh, I think I posted it wrong. Well, when we send out, we send this out to our mailing list, and hopefully these people are on my mailing list. They'll get it. So cooking with Shada
At
at
gmail.com.
Gmail. Thank you for correcting me. At
Sure, thank
gmail.com.
you.
And then you guys will be on her mailing list. So if she does classes or when her book comes out, you'll know. And of course, please feel free to follow her on all social media at Healthy Cooking with Shada. She's on Facebook, she's on Instagram, and she is also on YouTube. Lori says, thank you for this uplifting interview. We'll come back in a little bit less than an hour and we'll have another uplifting interview because another inspirational guest is Dr. Stefan Esser. It's like going to church, but without the religion.
He's so good. He is so good.
Yeah.
He is so
And
good.
I think the answer with the craving sugar, I think the reason neither you or I really crave sugar is because for the last 8.5 years, we have started every day with greens, and greens have thylakoids. They cut the cravings for sugar and for crap and for flour, and they turn off the hunger switch. And last thing, what do you think is the biggest secret to your success?
I think is don't laugh, but I'm going to say greens. Greens have been done.
I'm not laughing. That's what I was hoping you'd say. Vegetables for breakfast.
Yeah, vegetables for breakfast, and then after that, I would say in my environment. So, but definitely vegetables for breakfast.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, you have made this teacher very proud, and I just
Thank you.
cannot wait because I hear you might. I have great plans for you. I'll talk to you offline about some ideas I have. So, guys, thanks so much for being here. Come back in about 56 minutes for Dr. Stefan Esser, and I promise we'll have Shada back. Head on over to Healthy Cooking with Shada now and check out all her great recipes and webinars. Thanks so much for doing this, Shada.
Thank you so much for everything, AJ. Greatly appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye, guys.